Welcome, one and all, Monsieur and Madame, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert, and I have never been more grateful for the president's pettiness and stupidity, because today he was stupidly petty enough to save us from a very smart warmonger. I'm talking about National Security Advisor and last walrus on the beach without a mate, John Bolton. Today, with no public preamble, the president tweeted, "I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House." And another
one.
Goodbye.
Another one.
Another Trumpling bites the dumpling of dirt. Trump goes through staffers like a high 17-year-old goes through Little Debbie Swiss rolls. We knew there was bound to be conflict between these two guys, like two rams butting heads. There's going to happen eventually. We knew this because Trump was very down on our Middle Eastern wars, whereas Bolton had never seen a patch of sand he didn't want to make glow. In fact, Trump has long complained privately that Mr. Bolton was too willing to get the United States into another war, with Trump saying behind the scenes, "If it was up to John, we'd be in 4 wars now." And I can't have that. I'm already in so many wars. I got trade war, cupcake war, I'm in a flame war with Chrissy Teigen, and World War II, comma, what if the Nazis had won? Plus, back in May, Trump said this.
John is he has strong views on things, but that's okay. I actually temper John, which is pretty amazing, isn't it? Nobody thought that was going to happen. I'm the one that tempers him.
So Donald Trump is the voice of reason? John, you're talking crazy, okay? Now, can we please get back to discussing windmill cancer? Trump concluded, and therefore, ... I asked John for his resignation, which was given to me this morning. Okay, President's making a simple statement of fact, so it's probably a lie. Because 12 minutes after Trump's announcement, Bolton tweeted, "I offered to resign last night, and President Trump said, let's talk about it tomorrow." Oh, John. Yes, John, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Now, I want you to look into the distance while I tell you about rabbits. Steinbeck reference.
Yeah,
The announcement was a complete surprise, especially since the tweet came about 90 minutes before Bolton was expected to appear at a press briefing with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin. Oh, no, you left the nooch hanging?
I'm sorry, John Bolton couldn't be here. John Bolton couldn't be here today. Instead, the role of National Security Advisor will be filled by this TaskRabbit I hired. For $10 an hour, he assembles IKEA furniture and tells us who to bomb.
Meanwhile, back in March of 2018, Bolton almost wasn't hired in the first place. Apparently, Mr. Trump hesitated, in part because of his negative reaction to Mr. Bolton's walrus-style mustache. Ironically, while Bolton is leaving, his mustache is staying on as Stephen Miller's new hairpiece. It's good. It really is. It's youthifying. Trump promised, "I will be naming a new national security advisor next week." Who will it be? Well, we know Trump picked Bolton because he saw him on Fox News. So get ready for National Security Advisor, My Pillow Guy. And as he thought about dumping his current National Security Advisor, Trump started reminiscing about his ex, former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, seen here showing he's willing to sit down with America's enemies. Because it's been reported that Trump began calling H.R. McMaster last year to say he misses him.
It's been so different since you left. Now, when they say HR wants to talk to you, it's for much worse reasons.
No. After dispatching Bolton to the White House boneyard, Trump addressed the Conference of Historically Black Colleges and Universities. I did not see that one coming. He gave a mostly on-prompter address, except for a few unscheduled mouth detours.
You have never stopped working to improve this country and your terrific government. You have to just keep going.
I think his brain just tried to hit the brakes, then spun out on a patch of mental ice.
You have done so much for this You'll just keep going. They'll never know you sneaker.
Then Trump bailed out his sinking canoe and told those in attendance to keep their feet on the ground and reach for the lowest stars they can.
NASA is expanding outreach to HBCU students who want to become scientists, engineers, and even astronauts. I don't know about the astronaut. I don't want to be an astronaut. How about you? Does anybody want to be an astronaut?
What kind of president are you? The hell are you talking about? For Pete's sake, being an astronaut is the stereotypically American aspiration for greatness. You don't want to be an astronaut. Oh, I'm sorry. You'd rather be a cosmonaut. I forgot. Trump then, I forgot. Do свидания. Thank you. Trump then took time to recognize some folks in the room and some that were not in the room.
I also want to recognize our terrific executive director of the White House HBCUs Initiative, Jonathan Holyfield. Where is Jonathan? And I want to tell you, Evander Holyfield is a friend of mine, and he could fight. You always knew when you went in the ring with Evander, he may be 50 pounds lighter, but you knew it was going to be a tough night out there for you.
Holyfield got his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson, and I tell you, I know Tyson chicken nuggets very well. They're delicious, which reminds me of the Denver Nuggets, and of course, I happen to know John Denver. He wrote Rocky Mountain High, and I bet a lot of you out there watching me free associate feel like you're pretty high right now.
Trump.
Get that podium out.
Trump envisioned a future when some of his students in front of him might become president.
You're going to all make better deals than that. You have to promise me when you're up here someday, one of you or two of you or three of you at different times, of course, you'll be up here.
And whether one or two or three of you make it to this incredible seat of power, I promise to spread rumors that all of you were born in Kenya. That's my promise.